Ja, warte, wo ist das Buch? Kann ich in das Buch gucken irgendwie? Ah ja. Ja, auch dran 33. Huiuiui. Karma, ne? Always catches up to you, I
After
guess.
Sam died, my mom and Edie got really close. They'd both lost a lot.
Oh, what the fuck? I mean, ist irgendwie süß, aber auch irgendwie creepy und einfach traurig. What is wrong with his family? Divorce contract? Wait, what? Trotzdem ein bisschen was zu trinken einschenken. Kay oder Kai, Carlyle und Sam Finch. Ach, Kai oder Kay war eine Frau, I guess. Sam Finch, important warning rule. Lawsuit filed against you. You have 20 calendar days after the summons is served on you to file a written response to the attached complaint petition with the clerk of this court located. A phone call with no will not protect you. Your written response, including the case number. Okay.
Dear Kay, do you remember the way Gregory used to laugh when he thought he was alone? Like something funny was happening, but only he could see it.
Oh. Wie gesagt, das Spiel ist so cool gemacht, aber das hat einfach sowas unsettling. Irgendwas, das ist einfach so, was macht einem irgendwie unkomfortabel.
I think he saw things the rest of us don't.
Oh.
Watching over Gregory, it's time to... Hold on, sweetie.
Yes, Mom. Das ist
Hello?
wahrscheinlich Kai.
Sam, I told you I don't want to talk right now.
Oh, what the
I wonder what he saw.
Ah.
What his world was like.
Wie cool. So many duckies.
He reminded me so much of Calvin. Lost in his imagination.
Komm her, Mr. Wahl. Jawohl. Alle Buchstaben. Ja, alle Buchstaben.
I know how silly it sounds.
Uh-oh.
But I worried about a baby being too happy. But I could feel him slipping away.
Sorry about that, Gregory.
I know you did everything you could. Maybe if I hadn't called that night.
Damn it. Hold on, I don't want Gregory to hear this.
I wish he could have told us about the world he saw. There's so much I don't understand about Gregory, about everything. But I know what happened wasn't your fault. I'm sure he's happy. And he'd want you to be happy too.
Digga.
Good luck, Kay. Love, Sam.
Ei. Ich brauche dazu gar nichts sagen. Ich glaube, das Spiel spricht einfach für sich. Da muss ich aber da nicht hoch, oder? Oh, doch. Nee, da will ich nicht.
My mom
Nein.
moved up to the loft after her brothers died.
Moment. Ich muss erstmal noch Gus angucken. Den Tod von Gus.
I can't
At the
imagine my
time,
mom
it
ever
was
writing
as far away as
poetry
she
and
could get.
yet.
Sorry. A poem for Gus.
A poem for Gus, who always said the wedding was a bad idea. Our father never hit us kids, at least not very hard, before the day my brother said with teenage disregard that he'd be dead before he'd see a wedding in our yard. My father made him come, of course, but Gus stood far apart, just flew his kite and bottled up the storm inside his heart. I tried to talk him out of it, but though he'd never met her, we don't need a stepmom were the words that I
I now
learned.
pronounce you husband and wife. You may kiss the bride.
Yay, wedding. Hallo? Ah.
When the time for photos came, Dad ordered him to come here. But Gus declined, and as a sign held up his middle finger. The wind picked up, and panicked geese appeared and quickly went. But all the humans did that day was go inside the tent. The rain came down in buckets then, but no one seemed afraid that nature might destroy the tent our dad had crudely made.
Destroy.
Thunder sounded much too close and full of angry power. But all my father said to this was, "Make the music louder."
Sorry, Dad.
I wish that I could truly say I thought about you on that day. Out there on the beach alone, just you, the wind, the sea and foam, But I didn't. Until we found you.
She never talked about him, but Mom told me once if I was a boy, they were going to name me Gus.
Ein schöner Name. Sorry. Das Haus ist einfach ein Friedhof. Be a baby. Klettermama als schwangere Frau? Sure, Digga. What could go wrong? The Holy Bible.
Religion was another thing my mom never talked about, but I think it helped her a lot after her dad died.
Sanjay und Dawn. Ein Inder. Okay, also Dawn ist die Tochter von Sam, ne? Von dem Vater, der
She
quasi
spent a
gerade-
summer building houses in Calcutta, where she met my dad, Sanjay.
Ah. Wait, Dawn ist ihre Mutter. Okay, Dawn ist die Mutter von Edith. Und Sanjay ist der Vater. Gut. Da haben wir doch schon mal die enge Verwandtschaft jetzt geklärt. Achso, ich kann hier aber nichts lesen. Schade. Ach ja.
My mom moved to India a week after graduation and got a job teaching English.
Da sind wir wahrscheinlich auch dort groß geworden, schätze ich.
Louis was born a year later. When my dad died, I don't think Mom knew where else to go. I'm sure Edie was happy to have her back. And to see kids in the house again.
That's me, Edith.
The house had to get a little bigger, but Edie was used to that. And for a while, things were good. Almost normal.
Louis rules.
But it didn't last. The beginning of the end was Milton's 10th birthday, when Edie gave him a castle.
Krass. Aber hier steht auch noch kein Sterbedatum, weil er noch nicht quasi wieder aufgetaucht ist. Ich weiß, ich habe es gerade gesehen. Ich will nur mal ganz viel runter. Okay. Das ist auch so
I think Edie
cool.
was happy to finally have another painter in the family. Milton Finch in The Magic Paintbrush.
Er ist einfach nach Narnia gegangen.
I was 4 when Milton disappeared. Mom spent months searching for my brother. Then she sealed the doors. Whatever Milton had found in the house, Mom didn't want it getting out. Mom definitely blamed Edie, but I think Louis blamed himself. After he graduated, he just spent more and more time in his room, until Mom got him a job at the cannery.
Louis ist auch nur 22 geworden. Aber wie krass dieses Haus ist einfach. Unglaublich. Ne Bong.
Louis's room smelled very, very familiar. That part of him lived on. Louis and I spent a lot of time playing games together, but he was surprisingly bad at them. He died a lot.
The Wonderland. Ja, ein Esoteriker, I guess. Trippy. Legalize Marihuana. Seattle.
Dear Mrs. Finch, as Lewis's psychiatrist, I can understand your desire for an explanation. As I see it, the trouble began in January, shortly after we convinced your son to seek treatment for substance abuse. Newly sober, I believe Lewis first noticed the monotony of his daily life. He kept working at the cannery, but he withdrew part of himself. In our sessions, I saw the same behavior. His mind began to wander.
Lul. Okay, das ist Multitasking. Ich bewege mich jetzt mit den Pfeiltasten oder beziehungsweise mit WASD, mit den kleinen Boy. Und mit der Maus mache ich die Hand. Oh, das kann nicht gut enden.
I asked him to describe it. He said he started small. Imagining a labyrinth. He'd feel his way about. Then something moved. Bats. And toads. And things that have not names. He knew it was all in his head. But he took it very seriously. I had hoped he'd find himself. But he found something more. I worried about him then. Daydreaming at the cannery. I spoke with his boss. But he said Lewis had become a model employee. Methodical, tireless, focused. Like a whole new Lewis. So I let him go on. I even encouraged him. It seemed very promising at first. He told me he'd made a new friend.
Aw, doggo.
On the edge of a city he named Lewis Topia.
That's cool. Das war
He
cool
built the
gemacht.
city up slowly, brick by brick. Then he made musicians. And songs for them to play. He talked about starting a band. And he was always humming something. Every day his imagination grew stronger. He no longer spoke at the cannery. But his chopping was as reliable as ever.
Ist auch schön, wie die Erinnerung oder dieses Imagination des Fenster quasi immer größer wird.
Then one day it struck him that all the cheering crowds, even the stones under his feet, were all in his imagination. So he could do whatever he wished. He held an election for mayor. And he won.
Mario-Anspielung.
They begged him to stay, but his mind was already wandering. It became a game for him.
Yo.
He'd conquer a city, then immediately push on. New Louisville. St. Louis. He started drifting away from our reality. Minneapolis. Until one day he forgot to go home from the cannery.
Uh-oh.
Even as his mother pleaded with him, part of Lewis kept sailing on.
Sorry, Mom. I have to cut the fish.
In Lewisburg, he heard rumors of a
Handsome queen.
handsome queen. The queen was on her own quest for
Radiant rainbows. It's Pride Month. It's June.
radiant rainbows.
Sorry.
He followed the sound of her
Electric sitar.
electric sitar.
Let's go. Nein. No. Okay.
His chase led him to a golden palace east of the sun and west of the moon. Even then, his logic remained sound. He knew the world was all in his imagination.
Das ist aber nicht die Handsome Queen hier.
But he was so proud of having created it.
Open the door!
In his own eyes, he'd become something greater than a king.
Where's the fish?
For someone who'd never known success in the real world, I think it was overwhelming. And then it struck him that the real Lewis was not the one chopping salmon, but the one climbing the steps of a golden palace. My imagination is as real as my body, he told me. It was hard to argue with him.
Ich meine, mit denen...
He began to forget the world we know.
Oh.
I think it pained him to remember Lewis, the cannery worker.
Uh-oh.
He began to despise the man with a royal contempt.
Don't do it. Yo, my guy, you're not doing anything. Sorry, but...
I still thought I could save him. Even after he said he was being crowned king over all the lands of wonder.
I'm going into the light.
The palace would be packed with his companions. Including the wise Calico who'd insisted on inviting him.
Molly! Red Jam, Junge. Ganz schön laut gerade.
His queen waited, holding his crown. There was only one thing left to do.
Okay. Let's just get it over with. Hello.
Bend down his head. And the rest I think you know. Mrs. Finch, your son was a kind man who will be missed by all of us who knew him.
My brother was really cool. I wish you could have met him. On the way back from Lewis's funeral, my mom told me to start packing. She waited until the day before we left to tell Edie. I'm not sure if she wanted to make it easier or harder. I wish we'd stayed. But I understand why we left.
To get out of this cursed home.
My mom ended up leaving everything behind.
Oh. No. Sorry, no.
What happened that night had been coming for a long time. Maybe it should have come sooner. But it had to end one way or another. All that's left now is to tell you about that last night.
Might as well. Wait. I need to crouch, okay. Edith. Okay. Story of Edith. Let's do it.
That whole last day, Edie just watched us pack and didn't say a word. Until supper, when she raised her glass and said,
"To our final night together, and all our final nights apart."
Grandma, you know what I said about alcohol. Some of your medications are very
Edith,
specific.
I left a present for you in the hallway. Why don't you go open it? The grown-ups have to argue now.
I'm sorry, you're right. We're all leaving tomorrow. Let's just enjoy our last...
I'm not leaving.
Edith, you're excused.
The power had been shut off that morning, but Edie always had plenty of candles. When my mom sealed the library, I don't think she knew about the other entrance. Or that Edie had a key to it.
That thing you're afraid of isn't going to end when you leave the house. Edith has a right to know these stories.
My children are dead because of your stories. I think it's best if Edith and I leave tonight. We'll have the nursing home send a van for you in the morning, okay?
History of the Finches by Edith Finch.
dear Edith, there's so many stories I wish I could tell you, but there's only time for one. This is about what happened on the night you were born. That night, the tide went way, way out. It was the first and last time I ever saw the old house aground. There'd been an earthquake out in the middle of the ocean. They called it the lowest tide in 1,000 years. God, it smelled awful. You know, I've seen that house every day of my life. But I never thought I'd go back to it. When the fog rolled in, I lost my way. I got turned around. For a while, I wondered. I started seeing things.
Harrys Patronus.
Things I'd forgotten had ever existed. But when I saw them, they felt like old friends. That night, a lot of things came back to me. Or maybe I came back to them. Things I can't explain, but that I need you to try and...
Edith, what are you doing in here?
It's mine.
Edith!
Mom, you're gonna rip it! Let go! I kicked and screamed, but Mom dragged me to the car. I never saw Great-Grandma Edie again. The next morning, the band came to pick her up, but she was already gone. After that, we moved around a lot. We both tried to make the best of it. A few years went by. My mom didn't like to talk about it, but she started getting sick a lot. The rest happened pretty quickly. She got better for a while, and then she didn't. And then I was alone. The last Finch left alive. Until I found out about you. I'm still not sure what to tell you about all this. If we lived forever, maybe we'd have time to understand things. But as it is, I think the best we can do is try to open our eyes. And appreciate how strange and brief all of this is.
Ist es eine Geburt gerade?
This journal was supposed to be for you. But now I hope you'll never see it.
Well,
I just want to meet you and tell you all these stories myself. But I guess if you're reading this now,
I'm coming.
things didn't work out that way. This is where your story begins. I'm sorry I won't be there to see it.
It's a lot to ask, but I don't want you to be sad that I'm gone.
I want you to be amazed that any of us ever had a chance to be here at all. Good luck.
For Shirley Dallas. Tja. Puh. Muss mal kurz, ne? Durchatmen. Oh, ein relativ kurzes. Ich habe jetzt 2 Stunden aufgenommen, fast genau. Ich wusste nicht, dass es so kurz ist. Ich hatte halt wirklich nur noch in Erinnerung, dass es halt wirklich ein sehr, sehr schönes, kleines Game ist. Was halt einfach vom Storytelling so lebt. Und wie das halt rübergebracht wurde, ist einfach unique, finde ich, ne? Also ich habe so davor noch nie gesehen. Deswegen wollte ich das gerne nochmal selbst erleben. Wie gesagt, ich habe das vor einigen Jahren, ich weiß nicht, ob das 2013 rausgekommen ist, so quasi wie die Frau Dallas gestorben ist, ich weiß nicht, keine Ahnung, kann ich nochmal nachschauen danach. Für mich aber, ja. Kleines, aber feines Spiel. Ich habe nicht gedacht, dass ich jetzt im Stück durchschaue. Wie gesagt, ich wusste auch nicht, dass es nur 2 Stunden ist, das Spiel. Aber passt mir ganz gut. Ist einfach so. Meistens wirklich irgendwie solche kleinen Indie-Spiele hauen irgendwie mehr rein als so Triple-A-Titel. Weil eben diese großen Spiele, also ich zumindest, die sind meistens so lang und so groß einfach in ihrem, ne? In ihrer Dimension, dass es einfach ewig dauert, die durchzuspielen. Und das immer ein bisschen abschreckt. So, zwischendurch ist halt so ein schönes kleines Indie-Game immer mal was Schönes. Und Annapurna Interactive wusste ich, dass es von denen ist. Ja, die machen sehr coole Spiele. Ein sehr cooles Entwicklerstudio. Neil Druckmann? Der kommt mir bekannt vor. Trick or treat, smell my feet. (2017) 2017 ist rausgekommen. The End. Man kann die einzelnen nochmal gucken. Okay, cool. Ja, wie gesagt, ich weiß noch nicht, ob ich das überhaupt veröffentliche, aber ich habe das Bedürfnis, irgendwie mal selbst nochmal kurz zu spielen. Und vielleicht teile ich das mit euch. Ich habe wenig geredet, ja, wie gesagt. Aber ich glaube, bei dir, wie gesagt, das Spiel redet einfach für sich selbst. Braucht man nicht mehr zu kommentieren dafür. Schön. Es war meine Ehre. Man sieht sich im nächsten Projekt. Ja. Im nächsten Video. Und ich wünsche euch was. Peace.